This is going to be about something that happened earlier and then something else that happened a couple months back. And it's going to go into exactly why. Well, not exactly why, but a small reason why I make the videos I make, and why I really feel like people who are like-minded really need to get together, and we need to do something about these issues. And so I'm going to go over something that happened earlier and something that happened a couple months back and how it has something to do with each other, and different things that I'm putting together for this whole Antisra group, which I'm thinking about maybe not changing the name, but having a second name for. So basically, this dude I seen before one time when I was going to the, what was I calling it, the street cleanup crew meetings. He he stays at the shelter now, the family shelter, since he has 2 kids. And so earlier, I seen him flipping out on his babies and stuff. So I said something to him, and I came up to him. And that's the thing. Situations like that, I'm already ready to fight. But I was saying something to him, and then he just wanted to keep walking. He's probably, honestly, probably is scared of me. A lot of people are, to be honest, because for one, a lot of people don't see how somebody like me is able to do the things I do, and like just. Okay, no, I'm trying to get this to make sense because I don't want this to sound vague. So, one example, if anybody remembers the whole crazy the crazy voodoo cult lady situation, who said everybody that came into her house had to become a demon priest, that situation. She was one of the let me help you lunatic. She's not even the worst one either, funny enough. But I remember at one point she had said that she was scared of me, and it scares her that I'm able to, like, this was when I was 16 though. It scared her that I was able to just try to sleep on benches and stuff, and just that I was able to go about life and take care of myself and not be scared, and basically to not be paranoid like she is. And of course, like, it's not safe anywhere. Everywhere is dangerous. But to not be paranoid like she is kind of a joke, though, for if you watch the videos that I had about that. One of them was on the old evidence channels, but I re-uploaded the main video of the whole situation on here. It's unlisted, but it's in the Let Me Help You Lunatic playlist, or whatever that playlist is called. That's one example. Another example is somebody who's also very jealous and intimidated by me, which I could tell this about them since day one. They feel some type of way about me because I'm able to just, like, go about life without basically throwing myself around into quote-unquote relationships and doing all that just because, like, I want love and because I'm desperate. She doesn't understand how I'm able to do the things I do while quote unquote not having anybody. So, not the best examples. The first one was better. The second one was kind of whatever. But yeah, so he probably is scared of me. But I'm definitely gonna have to talk to him again. I guess the people around here, well, no, because when I was hanging up those anti-child abuse signs and the signs about how child abusers will reap what they sow, he wasn't living here then. So yeah, there was that situation. And I didn't want to escalate things, so I just tried talking to him. But I definitely will talk to him again. And so, what I'm about to mention that happened a couple months ago goes into the fact that the shelter, of course, is bull crappy. There are these people here. This dude and his wife, and he had 4 kids. 2 of his daughters were my age. One was 16, one was 17, and then he had 2 younger kids. Not really sure how old they were. And so they were the most decent family, one of the most decent families I've really ever seen in my life, to be honest. And they were having trouble finding housing because, for one, everything's expensive. Two, this is the most expensive county in the nation. Three, there's a housing shortage here. And so, yeah, and of course, the homeless industrial system, they don't help you find housing. So they have been here for some months. Nowhere near as long as they let other people stay, which is really weird to me. But that's the thing that I've noticed. The people who really, like, have themselves together and could really, like, use the help, which I don't really like the term, but it's the term that people around here use. Because, I mean, people do notice that there's some people here who have been here but no longer are here, most of them, who really could benefit from actually getting help with housing and maybe even with work, because they're quote unquote more put together. Not gonna go much into that because I don't really like the bias, but yeah, so people like them who would really like benefit from the help, I guess, and really actually try to push the case managers and stuff to do their jobs, they get pretty much spit on and ran over and kicked out. The kicked out part is literal. So, so basically, they were being told that they had to leave and they didn't have anywhere else to go. And, they were thinking about just trying to move back into the RV and move to some other city or something like that. And then the dad had let the case managers know that the RV had some issues. He had told them that in hopes that they would help him pay to get it fixed. But instead, they just threw that up in his face as another reason for them to call CPS on him and his wife. And it's like, how in the world are you guys trying to call CPS on people for asking you to do your job? But yet the people who were actually running around abusing their kids and screaming at their babies and all that stuff, you guys don't do anything about it. And of course, CPS is just one of the many branches of the Cash for Kids system. So going in there wouldn't do anything to benefit anybody. It's like, honestly, people really wanted to do something about abusers, they just confront abusers and beat them up, or if the situation is bad enough, really handle them, like if they're trafficking or doing like some really bad stuff to somebody. But of course, like I've mentioned before, probably not anytime soon, it's probably a while ago, when you start talking about, like, I can't really say the word on here, unalive traffickers, if you even, oh my gosh, if you even talk about, like, doing things to stop trafficking, as in just rescuing people, then you get bashed, because of course, a lot of people are in can't really talk about that on YouTube without getting flagged for hate speech either. People are in the chomo stuff, a lot of people are, and then the people who claim that they aren't still co-sign it and uplift it. And the thing I always say is that if you're okay with abuse, you are a chomo yourself. You can have the ideologies and not do it or act on it. So yeah, if you even like think about doing something about these issues and actually helping people, then you're the bad guy. And if you like talk about doing things to traffickers and stopping them, then quote unquote you're just as sadistic as they are. Which of course the people saying that are sick themselves. Like, I remember that was one of the reasons I had got banned off some Reddit group. And of course, I mean, Reddit is ran by the people who are doing those things. Not to mention Reddit is just ran by chomos and white supremacists in general that are going to feel some type of way, whether they really have say-so in any of these systems or not. But, yeah, so now I'm going to read this little thing I wrote earlier. This is something I've been thinking about, though. So, one of the names I thought of other than the Antisra, which is anti-SRA, which goes along with the whole all forms of child abuse or abuse in general or demonic ritual thing. One of the other names I have other than Antisra is ACAC, which stands for the Anti-Child Abuse Coalition. I don't know if that's a good name or not. Now, of course, YouTube is the worst place to even put a video like this, but I mean, I just really hope that these videos will get to the people who need them, who are in these situations or just got out. Because that's really what this is for, if you're in the system, so you can understand what's going on. That's all it's really about. Anyway, I wrote name, Anti-Child Abuse Coalition, motto, since sexual abusers, I don't think I can say that on here, practice thelemic, which revolves around Luciferianism or the occult. No, wait, practice thelema. I said thelemic. Practice thelema. I thought it'd be funny to take a quote from their book. So my motto is, all child abusers. Oh dang, I didn't even write. I was definitely dissociating while writing this because what in the world? I wrote half the sentence. I do that pretty often though. I'll write some things and then I'll skip some stuff because I was thinking about writing it in my head, so I think I already wrote it, but I didn't. All child abusers can't say that word, unalive, shall be the whole of law. That was kind of the funny flip I thought of. Since in Thelema in Satanism, which Thelema is it's this one like branch of Luciferianism or the occult made by Aleister Crowley. And there's this thing he said, which is do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, kind of like how the pagan Roman Catholics believe that your good deeds outweigh your bad. Just both of those things fall under the same mindset, really, if you really know about it. But yeah, so basically do whatever you want. These days people say YOLO, and there's some other term. I don't remember what it was. It's YOLO, whatever floats your boat, something like that. So, anywho, I just thought it'd be funny that all child abusers must or shall, quote unquote, unalive shall be the whole of the law. Probably still said that wrong. It's hard to really get things out when you have to like hop around things because of censorship. Remember. So, besides remember, I wrote all forms of abuse or demonic rituals which fracture the soul and cause brain damage. This also makes the victim an altar and gateway for spirits. This is what causes your now called quote-unquote mental illness. The most common one mentioned is specifically SRA/SA's DID, formerly known as multiple personality disorder, and then I put in like some parentheses or whatever they're called. If you ask me, all PDs, personality disorders, including bipolar and schizophrenia, which aren't PDs of course, are the effects of multiple personalities. But, as I always remind you, schizophrenia means split minds, and all mental illness are different forms of double-mindedness. This came out really drifty, but that's it.